You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Look at this. The northern Gulf Coast is preparing for Tropical Storm Gordon as it's expected to strengthen to a Category 1 hurricane.
And the search continues this morning for the hit-and-run driver in Manatee County.
And new data shows that September might not be too early to book your Thanksgiving flights. How it could save you big bucks. Plenty ahead. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Did you book your flight? Do you stay in town for Thanksgiving?
You see, that's a benefit to living in Florida is because everyone wants to come to you in the months of November, December, and January.
That's true.
Yes, come
like
to
that.
me. Come to me to warm weather.
Let's go to John Scalzi now for details of today's weather. Hey, John.
Good morning to you. So we didn't get a whole lot of rainfall around yesterday. That's the good news. The position of the center of the storm and its intensity kind of put us in kind of a little dry slot, if you will, around the bands of the storm. And we stayed there for most of the afternoon. So there were a few storms that moved on by, but certainly no flooding rainfall for us. There's the center of the storm right now. Gordon has changed little in the last few hours, 65-mile-an-hour winds, and here are we. Notice these bands are just offshore in Gulf waters. And you know what? That's where they're going to stay. We're not going to see a lot of banding features moving over our area today. We will get rainfall, though. There's plenty of residual moisture around our area, and with a little daytime heating, you can expect to see those showers and thunderstorms build once again. Our temperatures are running a degree or two warmer than they were 24 hours ago, thanks to all that humidity and moisture that's in the air. 76 Sarasota, 77 Bradenton, 78 in Inglewood, 76 in Myakka, Arcadia at 76, and we're on our way to a good 60% chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Not much of a chance during the morning commute, but by afternoon, you can pretty much bet on a few thunderstorms around. We'll have the complete forecast in a minute.
Very good. Talk to you soon. Thank you, John. This is a live look at your Ringling Causeway. Beautiful span built about 15 years ago amidst some controversy, but many opponents have since come around and support that span that crosses between Sarasota's Bayfront and Bird Key, St. Armand's Key, Lido Key. Let's go to the maps right now. Here's the situation in northern Manatee County. So far, so good. Not much to report so far at 5 o'clock in the morning. Let's look farther down now. You see a buildup on 41 southbound from the 301 split past Bay Vista, past Weber Drive and towards Siesta Drive, almost to Bee Ridge. Otherwise clear in northern Sarasota County. Not sure why there's congestion there already. And South County, no real issues at 5:02 on this Tuesday morning. Happening today, Supreme Court confirmation hearings begin for federal Judge Brett Kavanaugh. But the showdown over Kavanaugh's seat on the high court has already started. ABC's Emily Rao is in Washington with the latest.
As federal Judge Brett Kavanaugh rounds out his intense preparation for this week's hearings, complete with interruptions by fake protesters, Senate Democrats are already making their case that the White House is withholding key information about Kavanaugh's record.
He chose the candidate who he thought would best protect him from the Mueller investigation.
Already, some 400,000 documents have been released, but it's the 100,000 from Kavanaugh's time as a close aide to President George W. Bush that Democrats want. Senator Chuck Schumer tweeting late Monday, the Senate was just given an additional 42,000 pages of Kavanaugh documents the night before his hearing. This underscores just how absurd the process is. In response, Republicans on the Judiciary Committee saying the team will be able to go through the latest batch in short order, pointing out the number of documents released about Kavanaugh totals more than the last 5 nominees combined.
He was very explicit in terms of what he wanted in a Supreme Court nominee.
Another major concern, how Kavanaugh might affect legal precedent on key rulings on abortion, affirmative action, and gay rights. Democrats are expected to grill the 53-year-old about his views on Roe v. Wade and whether Kavanaugh would work to overturn it.
Democrats have also gone after Kavanaugh for once writing that presidents should not be distracted by investigations while in office, some accusing President Trump of picking Kavanaugh to protect himself. Emily Rao, ABC News, Washington.
Happening today, 5 suspects accused of abusing multiple children in a New Mexico compound are back this time in federal court. Now, their first round of charges were dismissed last week because the prosecution missed a 10-day window to formally file those charges. But now they've been rearrested by the FBI, and they're now facing federal charges related to firearms and conspiracy. Now, one of the suspects is a Haitian immigrant whose visa expired almost 20 years ago. The other 4 are accused of aiding and abetting her. FBI agents seized at least 11 firearms at that compound and say they were transported illegally across state lines.
A search continues for the hit-and-run driver who struck and killed a Bradenton man last weekend. Somebody hit Paul McComb on State Road 64 in eastern Manatee County about 5:40 a.m. Sunday morning. Well, friends mourned his loss at the Old School Bar and Grill on Main Street in downtown Sarasota, where McComb was a regular. They're hoping the person responsible comes forward.
Come forward and, give everybody a little bit of closure and peace with that.
You couldn't find a bad quality about Paul except that he gave too much.
FHP says McComb's car had broken down on the road when he was struck by an eastbound car near Dam Road.
Some new developments in the search for a missing 2-year-old boy in Largo that triggered an Amber Alert over the weekend. A sketch of the person of interest has now been released by police. Jordan Bellevue went missing Sunday morning. Now, this is a sketch right here. It says the boy's mother says she took a ride from this stranger in a white Toyota Camry, who she says went by the name Antoine. Now, the mother claims that this man punched her and knocked her out, and when she came to, she was in a wooded area and little Jordan was missing. Police are now also searching ponds in the area where both the mother and the son live. Parts of the Suncoast were feeling some of the effects of Tropical Storm Gordon yesterday. Now, the winds picked up during the afternoon. The Gulf became a little bit more active during the day, and flooding is sometimes a concern on Minnesota Key, but inconsistent rains throughout the day really eased some of those concerns. Folks were taking this storm in stride, and there were some who were hopeful that maybe it could even help a little bit with the red tide.
I'm fine. It doesn't bother me. You expect storms.
All the smells and stuff is going to be, pushed off somewhere. So, not that somebody else deserves it, but we need a break around here. It's been here for months and months.
Now, for the latest on Gordon, keep it here. Check out our Facebook page and log into our website, mysuncoast.com.
Tropical Storm Gordon is now heading toward the northern Gulf states and could become a Category 1 hurricane. Reporter Patrick Bigby has some reminders on preparations.
All eyes are on the Gulf as Tropical Storm Gordon approaches the Pine Belt. And now is the time to prepare. One of the most important things you can do to be ready is to have a hurricane preparedness kit. So what items should be included in your kit? We asked the National Weather Service to find out.
Water, at least 1 gallon a day per person for 7 to 10 days.
So just exactly how much water is that? Well, to put it in perspective, a family of 4 should have 40 gallons to last 10 days. And this is what 40 gallons looks like.
You want to have food for at least 3 to 7 days, and these are non-perishable, packaged, canned foods. You also want to have things like first aid kits, toiletries. Just think about things that you will want to have on hand in case you can't get to the store. Stores are out of power, flashlights, batteries, a battery-operated radio, cash, because ATMs and credit card machines may not be working.
Making sure your car is ready is also very important.
You want to make sure that your car is full of gas. During Hurricane Katrina, there were long gas lines.
And also don't forget to grab any prescriptions, food and toys for your pets, and any other items you may need to care for babies or elderly members of your family. By doing this and preparing now, you'll be ready to face anything this system has to offer.
Well, now to someone who caused a storm of her own earlier this year. Roseanne Barr says she is not going to be in the country when the spinoff to her canceled new sitcom returns to ABC this fall. In a podcast, Barr announces she is actually going to be in Israel studying Judaism when The Conners premieres next month without her. The comedian, of course, was fired from the reboot of Roseanne this year after racist comments on Twitter. The show was quickly canceled by ABC despite its high ratings. They then announced they would bring back a new revised show with the other cast members, but with no Barr. The Conners will premiere right here on ABC 7 Tuesday, October 16th.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. Now, booking your flight this month could save you money for Thanksgiving travel.
And later in the hour, the search continues this morning for 3 missing boaters in the Colorado River. We'll tell you what happened, but first.
5:09 right now. Peek outside our studios from the Rosemary District, high above it. And we're back to school today after a nice 3-day weekend, and John Scalzi has checked the rain box this morning.
I have indeed. The rain box is the only one that is checked, though, and you can see on the tower cam a little bit of cloud cover out there. We'll also have a little bit of sunshine as we head into the afternoon. That'll help to stabilize our atmosphere and bring us some gusty storms around once again this afternoon. We have a chance of seeing those showers at about 60%. Not much of a chance for the morning commute, though. I think as you head out to work or school, everything will be just fine. We'll be right back with the forecast.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
All 2018 Accord inventory is on clearance for just $249 a month. During the Honda Summer Spectacular event, get an Accord, the North American Car of the Year, with tons of standard features. Honda sensing, multi-angle camera, alloy wheels, and a turbocharged engine for less than the competition. Just $249 a month. Or save thousands with 1.9% financing this week at your local Honda dealer.
The day you lose your strength is the day you lose your independence. Muscle is lost with age, affecting your energy, balance, and mobility. Before you know it, you're depending on others just to get through the day. But you can reverse and prevent muscle loss. Introducing MyoHealth, a revolutionary proven approach to increased muscle strength and function in as little as 30 days. Live life on your terms with more energy and confidence.
After a serious health issue put me down, MyoHealth's getting me back up again.
I'm doing activities that I haven't done for a long time. It really works.
MyoHealth is a safe, natural dietary supplement, the result of decades of research and 24 human clinical studies. You can live stronger at any age with greater strength, mobility, balance, and energy. Call or go online now and take the MyoHealth 30-Day Strength Challenge.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
76-degree air temperature, dew point value the same, 100% relative humidity out there. We did have some showers during the overnight, kind of move on through, especially near the coastline. So if you are an early commuter, watch for a little ponding on roadways. But other than that, I don't think we'll see much in the way of rainfall during the morning hours. Put the rain chance at about 10%. That'd be mostly right along the immediate coastline. Then as we head into the afternoon, our rain chances go up significantly with a little daytime heating. When we climb up to a temperature that's near the 90 mark, we'll have a 60% chance of showers. We'll be significantly warmer than yesterday. We won't have the cloud cover, as much cloud cover around, and we'll have a peek at the sun from time to time. Showers and thunderstorms linger till about 5, 6 o'clock, and then we start to trend down those rain chances pretty quickly thereafter. You can see all of the showers, heavy rainfall associated with this system. We were very lucky indeed not to get any of, well, too much of that heavy rainfall during the last 24 hours. Mostly it was down to the southern tip of the state and a little bit to the north as well. We were kind of in a dry area. And right now, we're just getting skirted by those showers of importance to mariners. But for those of us on land today, there's really not much of an impact from the storm other than its residual moisture is still around and will help induce showers this afternoon. Right now, very quiet everywhere you look. We still have a couple of river warnings up, unrelated to Gordon. Gordon is now a 65-mile-an-hour storm. It hasn't changed a whole lot. It is still forecast to perhaps increase in intensity to a minimal Hurricane 1, Category 1 hurricane as it makes landfall. It's moving pretty quickly, though. It is under the effect of some westerly shear that's kind of opened up the left side of the storm. So an increase in intensity to a Category 1 hurricane, perhaps, and it's certainly a good thing to warn for that. We'll see if that actually does occur. It'll be making landfall a little bit later on today, actually, moving into an area probably around anywhere between, I'd say, New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama. There's a pretty good consensus model runs on that one. Not much has changed in the forecast philosophy there. As it moves on shore, it'll rapidly decrease in intensity, becoming extra tropical in short order by tomorrow, I should imagine. And then it gets picked up by winds and carried off toward the Great Lakes region as just a storm system, not tropical any longer. And by Sunday, it'll probably wash away completely. If you look at the futurecast, you'll see all of the heavy rainfall lifting northward. But for us, the residual moisture and the flow coming up out of the southeast is really what triggers our showers once again. And they'll be few and far between, but they will be around. Decent chance of seeing those showers build by around 2 o'clock in the afternoon and then continue on till around 7, 8 o'clock in the evening until everything kind of dissipates away and we're left with quiet overnight. Florence, another system that we still need to watch, a tropical storm, but it's again forecast to recurve out into the open waters of the Atlantic and not bother anyone. And then we have this system way off the coast of Africa. That area deserves watching as well. It's a long way from us, but it has a 50% chance of developing. And the forecast models, even though it's still 3,500 miles away, take it on a westerly track with time so that by next week, it'll be close enough to us that it's certainly one that we'll have to keep an eye on. So we aren't done yet with tropical systems, certainly as we enter this peak of hurricane season. 5 to 10 knot winds this afternoon out of the east. We'll be looking at 2 to 4 foot seas and a moderate chop on your bay and inland waters. We do not have a small craft advisory up for our local area waters, but nevertheless, keep an eye out there for those showers and thunderstorms. For today, 60% chance of showers, the same thing just about tomorrow. And then as we head into the next couple of days, some drier air works its way in. And then we bump up the rain chances again to seasonable as we head into the weekend. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Let's take a look outside and check on your morning commute at this hour. Manatee County looking pretty good right now. No real bumps or delays in that area. Just a little on State Road 70, but pretty normal. And then in Sarasota County, those roads again are not looking too bad. Just a little bit of a slowdown as you're coming off of 75 onto Bee Ridge. But other than that, looking pretty good. Again, going a little bit farther in the area, 75 and 41. Smooth commute so far this morning. It is 5:18, and that is your first alert traffic. Well, when it comes to holiday travel, it is never too early to book your airfare, and there are some good deals right now. Mary Maloney has a closer look in today's Consumer Watch.
What's your holiday travel strategy? Buy now to avoid a huge price surge, or wait and hope that prices will drop. According to new data trends from Google's travel team, if you want to save, don't wait. Overall, regardless of the destination, Google says airfares are likely to go up 75 days before departure, and again 35 days before departure. In fact, it says if you wait to book your trip until October, you'll likely see a 95% price increase. And if you procrastinate and book in November, Google says last-minute travelers can expect another 30% increase. But not all experts agree. Travel website Hipmunk says it's not too late to book next month. Hipmunk says the first week of October is optimal for purchasing flights for Thanksgiving. Whichever you choose, here are some saving tips to consider. Experts recommend flying on Thanksgiving Day. You'll see the cheapest flights, fewer crowds, and shortest lines. And don't fly back the day after Thanksgiving. Instead, extend your trip if possible and return midweek to save. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
You know, it's the first time I booked really early for a trip this October.
That didn't work out so well for you,
I've
did
since
it?
had to tweak the reservations.
Right, so you got a fee for that.
Welcome to the world of change fees. $250.
Oh.
And now the flight's cheaper anyway.
Ugh. That's not good.
So it does pay to wait in some cases.
Maybe you should wait sometimes.
Yes.
Travel advice by Ray Collins.
Thank you.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. It is a big old birthday for Google, and Mercedes is getting ready to unveil a new model. We'll show you in today's Tech Bites.
And at 5:30, we'll tell you why protesters are upset at the government in Brazil over that massive fire at the National Museum. Strange twist in that one. First, here's a look outside once again at the Ringling Causeway. Well lit there. Underneath there is Sarasota Bay beneath the causeway.
It was a beautiful shot out there this morning. You are watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business. Watch Saturdays at midnight on ABC 7. Premieres September 8th. Find out first at 4 on the Suncoast with ABC 7 News at 4. ABC 7 News at 4 starts with a detailed look at your first alert weather forecast to help you plan and prepare. We give you a fresh, fast-paced rundown of the day's top stories and videos, including breaking news, live updates, and traffic hotspots, all at a new, more convenient time. Find out first at 4, weekdays on ABC 7.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local boys and girls clubs. Great futures start here.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
If you sometimes feel, no names here,
I don't know what you're talking about.
like you can't refuse a chocolate chip cookie, there might be a science to it.
Research says the ingredients in chocolate chip cookies not only create a perfectly harmonious flavor, but they also create a blend, like a perfectly addictive treat. Now, sugar itself is shown to induce cravings and can trigger some of the same addictive responses as cocaine. Chocolate has some small amounts of a compound that actually triggers the same parts of your brain as THC, the active ingredient in marijuana.
I believe it.
I do too. That's why I can't eat less than like 5 chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, I know. Oh, those Entenmann's. How about those?
Oh, those are so good.
Indulge a whole
So
box of
hungry right
those.
now,
I could consume those.
Go
ahead.
Well, the crash felt round the world yesterday. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all crashed yesterday.
So what happened? The story in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Facebook's apps go dark.
For just under 90 minutes on Monday, Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook itself were all knocked out. Service was affected on 4 continents. Facebook blamed the problem on a networking issue. Another car company is taking on Tesla.
Mercedes-Benz will unveil its electric SUV today. The company previewed the event with this video. Doesn't show much, just close-up images of the interior
Steering wheel
and silhouette of the vehicle. The Mercedes SUV is expected to get 310 miles on a single charge, slightly more than Tesla's SUV. A big milestone for Google, marking its 20th birthday today.
The search engine had humble beginnings, founded in a garage by Stanford students Larry Page and Sergey Brin on September 4th, 1998. Happy birthday. Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Entyvio, Vitolizumab.
If your moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's symptoms are holding you back, and your current treatment hasn't worked well enough, it may be time for a change. Ask your doctor about Entyvio, the only biologic developed and approved just for UC and Crohn's. Entyvio works at the site of inflammation in the GI tract and is clinically proven to help many patients achieve both symptom relief and remission. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, serious, potentially fatal brain infection caused by a virus, may be possible. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, experience frequent infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Liver problems can occur with Entyvio. If your UC or Crohn's treatment isn't working for you, ask your gastroenterologist about Entyvio. Entyvio, relief and remission within reach.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
The northern Gulf Coast is getting ready for Tropical Storm Gordon as it's expected to strengthen to a Category 1 hurricane.
This morning, Aretha Franklin's family is speaking out against an Atlanta pastor's eulogy during her funeral. While they're saying it was distasteful.
And only in Florida, some gator hunters caught the mother or monster of all gators. Wait till you hear just how big this baby was. Those stories plus your first alert forecast right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Didn't look very happy, though, that's for sure.
No, it was not very happy, but it was a monster gator. We're going to tell you just how big it was and how they tried to catch it in a boat.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Lots of rain on John's map. Let's find out where he's looking right now.
Yeah, that's it. That's Gordon. Gordon continuing to drive away from the state of Florida. There's the center of it. You can see it's got a kind of a northward motion, actually northwestward motion. And there's the very edge of it, just off our shores, continuing to pull further away, actually. So we don't see a lot of rainfall directly related to Gordon today. We will see the residual moisture left behind that's all over the state of Florida. Kind of become destabilized by daytime heating, a southeasterly wind flow, all of these things combining together to produce more showers for us. But right now everything's quiet and will be for your morning commute. Don't see much of a problem here. We're looking at local temperatures that are running a degree or two warmer than they were 24 hours ago, thanks to that increase in dew points. 77 Lakewood Ranch, 77 in Northport, 78 in Inglewood. Our rain chance today, pretty good, coming in at about 60% this afternoon. Forecast in a minute.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Here's a live look outside at the Ringling Causeway on the Intracoastal Waterway, also known as Sarasota Bay, looking over toward Bird Key and St. Armand Circle and so forth. Let's wipe the maps right now. We'll take a peek at the Manatee County map in one moment here. Here we go. Not much to report so far. Looks all clear. The usual delays will probably kick in about an hour or so. Yesterday was pretty light, of course, due to the Labor Day holiday. Here's the northern half now of Sarasota County. Nothing yet to speak of, just some small yellow spots there. Fruitville Road westbound, also 41 where it comes out to the 301 split and heads south. And then checking our final map to the south, that will show not much to speak of right now on the South County map. Should be pretty good. Time now is 5:32 on your Tuesday morning. Tropical storm Gordon gaining strength as it heads for the northern Gulf Coast. The storm is expected to make landfall later today as a Category 1 hurricane.
That's right, and states of emergencies have now been declared in both Mississippi and Louisiana. ABC's Candace Gibson has the latest.
Tropical storm Gordon intensifying in the Gulf of Mexico.
I don't want to see another hurricane like Katrina at all.
Evacuations are already underway in New Orleans for people living outside areas protected by the levee system. The National Hurricane Center is warning of a life-threatening storm surge up to 5 feet in some areas.
You don't take any of these storms lightly, even though it may not be a hurricane.
Tropical storm and hurricane warnings stretch hundreds of miles as forecasters say the storm could dump up to 8 inches of rain. Many along the Gulf Coast say they're not taking any chances.
I went to Sam's, bought a bunch of water and stuff for my family. And other than that, just kind of letting all my employees know to kind of prepare because you don't know what's going to happen.
The storm already drenched parts of South Florida. This time-lapse shows the bands of rain moving through Boca Raton. Farther south, Miami's famed beaches, normally packed with tourists on Labor Day, deserted, shut down on a holiday. Meanwhile, in the heartland, major flooding from a separate weather system. Several days of rain inundated Manhattan, Kansas, in what's being called a 500-year event. An estimated 300 people have been displaced because of the flooding there.
Just a little bit of panic, just trying to get all my belongings together. But I didn't have enough time, so just took baby and dog and wallet and keys, and that's it.
Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
And the search continues for 3 people who disappeared after 2 boats crashed and sank in the Colorado River. Police say 2 boats, one carrying 10 people and the other was 6, collided head-on, sending all 16 people into the river in California before those boats actually sank. Witnesses say one boat was speeding on the wrong side of the river Saturday night with no lights on, hitting the other boat. Now on Monday, rescuers were able to recover one of the 4 boaters who was missing. 3 others are still missing as of today. 9 people were taken to the hospital. Police say none of those boaters were wearing life jackets.
Our motto that I tell everybody is boat safe, boat smart, boat sober, and wear a life jacket. You follow those rules and things tend to work out a lot better for you.
The sheriff's office is now investigating the crash, trying to figure out if alcohol or speed may have played a factor in that.
Hundreds of protesters took to the streets in Brazil in the wake of a fire that destroyed that country's 200-year-old national museum. 20 million artifacts spanning 11,000 years were lost in that fire right there. Even though the cause is still a mystery, protesters are blaming government spending cuts and inadequate maintenance, including the building's sprinkler system. Police used tear gas on protesters, some of whom tried to storm the gates of the still smoldering building.
Well, Aretha Franklin's family is speaking out today against the divisive remarks an Atlanta pastor made during Franklin's eulogy. Now, Reverend Jasper Williams came under fire for blaming the African-American community for black poverty. Williams also claimed single mothers are incapable of raising sons by themselves. Franklin's family released a statement yesterday calling those comments, quote, offensive and distasteful. They say that Williams used the Queen of Soul's funeral as a platform to push his agenda and never properly eulogized her. Other speakers at the funeral who did discuss Franklin's career and impact include Bill Clinton, Smokey Robinson, and Tyler Perry. Now, according to her family, the singer never asked for Williams to eulogize her. He was chosen because he has done so for several other family members.
65,000 people attended an anti-racism concert in Germany yesterday. The event was triggered by the fatal stabbing of a German-Cuban man. It featured some of the nation's most well-known musicians. Organizers called it a chance to show solidarity.
Well, more and more sand dollars are washing up on our beaches, along with the fish and the crabs and the eels. But you may want to think twice before taking home a sand dollar, because you could be breaking the law. It is illegal to keep any live sand dollars here in Florida, and you're limited to just 2 per day in Manatee County. It's important to know the difference between a live and a dead sand dollar before you take them home with you.
Ones are dark gray with spines. The dead ones are white or light in color with no spines.
Some good things to note right there. And sand dollars, they do play an important role in our marine ecosystem. As more sea creatures are plagued with red tide, it's important to think twice before keeping anything with a living shell.
The number of birds killed by red tide continues to rise. Last week we told you about 40 injured birds that were brought to Save Our Seabirds in just one day. Since then, that total rose to almost twice the number. That's an average of 6 to 7 birds brought in every day. While many of them are ready to be released, 31 shorebirds have died at Save Our Seabirds from the effects of red tide.
Letting people know to keep their eyes out. You know, red tide is getting a little bit better, but just to keep their eyes out for the birds on the beaches.
At Wildlife Inc. in Bradenton, about 20 birds brought to them, all sick from red tide.
We are going to need a bigger boat. It's not too often that famous quote from Jaws can actually be used in real life, but it was true for some Florida gator hunters who may have caught the mother or the monster of all gators. Kelly Grossfield has this only in Florida story. We're going to have that for you in just a moment, but as you can see, we are in gator season right now, and a couple of these guys, they noticed some smaller creatures, and as they were out doing their gator hunting with licenses, they were able to take a look and find one that they need to pull into the boat, but it was a little larger than what they saw. Take a look.
Caught a few small ones and noticed a bigger one, and by the time we got on it, we never really realized how big it actually was.
This gator, 12 feet long and 750 pounds. Brandon Barfield and Brandon Cutchins never expected a catch this big. They say they originally set out looking for gators about 5 or 6 feet long, but that all changed.
We decided to go try out one more place and ended up seeing this guy.
With a rod and reel and a John boat, the two men were on a mission to catch this massive gator no matter what.
When we finally snagged the alligator, it was on like Donkey Kong from there.
But it wasn't easy.
He fought so hard. We finally got him up to the boat, got him with a harpoon, put a couple big snatch hooks in him, and the first thing we seen was his tail. But his tail, that didn't do him no justice. Once we get the other hook in him and seen his head, we were more or less scared than we were happy at this moment.
The two have their proper permits and tags to hunt gators during the season. This was the first alligator for both Barfield and Cutchins. They say it's a catch they'll never forget. Now they reap the rewards of their hard work.
We're gonna eat the meat and probably get some things made out of the hide and mount the head.
In Panama City, Kelly Grossfield, News 13.
Huge. That thing is huge.
So many thoughts about that story.
Man.
Oh my goodness, that was a big, big gator right
Like
there.
a small 18-wheeler truck.
I know. When you see it compared to like those guys when they stand next to it, that is no small gator.
All right, 5:39 right now.
Still ahead, a man in Reno is going viral on social media. We're going to tell you why people are saying his football skills are a work of art.
Ah, football begins this weekend.
Yes.
Yes. And have you heard who Nike is going to use as their face of the 30th anniversary?
I have. I have seen the ads, and we're going to tell you about them.
That's coming up. How about that for a tease? Got John Scalzi's interest there, didn't we?
It's John Scalzi.
Should be.
Can you imagine? We're looking at a 60% chance of rain showers this afternoon. And for the kids at the school bus, well, not too bad, actually. Pickup looks fine. I don't see any chances of rainfall there. We'll go with a 76-degree air temperature. And then on the way home, yeah, there'll be a few scattered storms around, 89 at that point. We'll look for about a 7 out of 10 chance at outside recess today under partly cloudy skies by that time. We'll have a slightest little rain chance. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in just a few.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
How do you open tough jar lids? Do you try this one? Or this one? Or how about this one?
Honey?
This is the future. Shouldn't there be a robot for this by now? There is. Introducing RoboTwist, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids. Just set it down, press the button, and watch it work. First, the RoboStrong vise locks down tight. Then the powerful twisting action unscrews the lid. RoboTwist is yours for the special introductory price of just $19.99. That's right, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids, all for just $19.99. Whether the jar is big or small, RoboTwist can open them all. Supplies are limited, so don't delay. Here's how to get yours today.
Call 1-800-347-1073. That's 1-800-347-1073. Or order online at buyrobotwist.com.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership, both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 76-degree air temperature, dew point to match, 100% relative humidity, and the east wind at 8 continues again today. That east wind is going to be instrumental in our afternoon forecast with a little daytime heating, which I think we'll get a little bit more sunshine today than yesterday. We'll watch our showers build in the afternoon. Got a 60% chance of that. Some of the storms, of course, could be heavy. Gusty winds, frequent lightning, that sort of thing. Typical summertime stuff. As we head into the evening hours, we'll start to watch those showers kind of dissipate a little bit. So there's Gordon. Gordon's still a strong storm, strong tropical storm, probably creeping up to close to, or if not, hurricane force winds as we head into the later part of the afternoon. It doesn't have a large window of time for development here. It's probably going to make landfall a little bit later on today or early tomorrow morning. But there is a chance it could actually hit minimal Category 1 hurricane status before making landfall. It is getting a little bit of a shear. You notice only half of the system has rain showers around, the center located right about there. Moving off to the north and to the east on a track that takes it pretty close to Louisiana or areas around Mobile, Alabama, or perhaps Pas Christian. We're looking at the outer bands of the showers just kind of skirting our shoreline. A lot of people have asked, well, does this mean that it's going to break up the red tide? That's a good question. We'll be waiting with great interest to see what the latest data shows as the report comes out on Friday as to what the concentrations are locally. As far as our area goes, I don't expect much in the way of rainfall during these morning hours. It's by afternoon with a little daytime heating that we might see something. So this is the latest red tide status for Mote Marine issued by yesterday's observers. And we have a couple of locations where they're not reporting any irritant in the air. Holmes Beach, Manasota Beach, the two in particular, and the rest of them are all in the low category. We don't have any intense amounts of red tide being reported by any of the spotters. So that's interesting. There'll be another report coming out at about 10, 11 o'clock this morning. We'll have that for you on the noon show. Gordon, 65-mile-an-hour winds, moving to the west-northwest at a good clip, about 17 miles an hour. That's one of the other things that might inhibit, perhaps a little bit, its development, that fast wind speed. As it moves up toward the northern Gulf Coast by this afternoon, we'll watch it being pretty close to making landfall. Again, somewhere between Louisiana Delta region and Mobile, Alabama. It moves up pretty quickly as a Category 1. There'll be a threat of storm surge there, that's true. Small one, minor one. And then most of the rainfall will be wrung out probably in the first 48 hours or so. It's going to be a pretty fast-moving storm, so despite the fact that they already have had a lot of rainfall there from another system, this storm system will be moving pretty quickly, so total rainfall accumulation should hopefully be on the small side. And then it gets caught up in upper-level winds and is really pulled out of there pretty quickly. You can see all the rainfall shield lifting northward, really not impacting us all that much as it lifts northward, but we get this southerly flow of air or southeasterly flow of air combined with little daytime heating that produces our showers by noon and become more frequent by the time we hit 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So our rain chance is good today, but typical kind of stuff that we have seen over the last week or two, not necessarily directly associated with a tropical storm. 5 to 10 knot winds. We'll look for moderate chop on your bay and inland waters out there, boaters, and of course those rain bands just offshore. 60% chance of showers today. A little drier air sneaks its way in tomorrow, reducing rain chances for a day or two. Then as we head into the weekend, the rain chances start to creep back up. Back to you.
Take a look outside and check your first alert traffic out there. We do have one spot to tell you about right there in Manatee County. There's an accident right there at State Road 70 and I-75. Again, State Road 70 and I-75. There is an accident right there at that interchange. And then heading south into Sarasota County, those roads are not looking too bad just yet. A couple slowdowns right there on Bee Ridge, but nothing too big. And then a little bit farther south, both 75 and 41 are running pretty smooth so far this hour.
Nike is facing some backlash after naming Colin Kaepernick as one of their faces of their 30th anniversary Just Do It campaign. The former NFL quarterback shared this photo to Twitter with the quote, "Believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything." He was the one 2 years ago who began the movement of kneeling during the national anthem to protest racial injustice. He has since filed a grievance with the NFL, claiming teams are working together to keep him out of the league. Last week, an arbiter ruled there was enough evidence to send the collusion case to trial. Others featured in the campaign include wide receiver Odell Beckham and tennis star Serena Williams.
And no one from my Detroit Lions.
No.
Well, if kicking a football is a form of art, a man in Reno, Nevada, he might be Picasso. Adam Lennon is known for his jaw-dropping football tricks that often go viral, but as John Little reports, his latest trick was seen by even more this time.
It's pretty cool. A lot of times I don't even know it's viral, so I start getting text messages from my buddies. They're like, "Hey man, I was just working out and I saw you on SportsCenter."
Adam Lennon has gone viral quite a few times over the years. It's for what he does with a football. Many times, not even when he's on an actual football field.
A lot of the times when I go out and kick, I have no clue what I'm going to do, and I'll just start goofing off, and the creativity just starts to come to you after a while, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, can I do this? Can I do that?"
He's been featured on ESPN's nightly Top Plays segment, and one of his latest videos was retweeted by SportsCenter and seen by its 35 million followers.
It's just weird when a video goes viral on your phone, just kind of goes off like a slot machine, and then it'll go off pretty much all night.
Lennon was a kicker at McQueen High School and also spent some time with UNLV. He's not just a trick shot artist, he's also a master at the onside kick. That's when you kick it off with the intention of getting the ball back for the offense. He's so good, he's even taught some NFL players on how to do it successfully.
The more accurate you are with that, the less it's going to be a crapshoot, you know, and that's what I try to preach. It's not all about the height, it's about the control of the ball. And I can pretty much put an onside wherever I need to put it. That's what's going to get your team the ball.
He's also trained numerous high school kickers in the area, teaching a specific skill set that can help them land a college scholarship.
Just to see them go from high school to the next level and see the joy on their face, just to know that they made it, just teaching them not only kicking but about life and, you know, how if you really work hard, you can become the best in the world at anything.
He's the face of Nike.
He's the face of Nike, right? In the words of John Scalzi, how does this guy not have an NFL contract?
Yeah, that says it
There's
all.
gotta be a team that needs a kicker out there, and he can place it that well. That'd be nice.
Hey, football, FSU played last night.
Yes.
Brand new coach from Manatee County, Willie Taggart. First game, they lost 24-3 to Virginia Tech.
Next time.
Yes.
It can be better next time.
Let's go to the break now. Here's a shot of your Ringling Causeway as we come back and give you the top 3 news headlines of the day at 5:51 on Good Morning Suncoast.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Can I give you one more sports headline?
Yes, one more sports headline.
Late last night after we all went to bed, Roger Federer lost in the U.S. Open to a no-name.
Huge.
John Millman.
John Millman. Maybe he won't be a no-name forever.
Now, 5:54, let's check the headlines now.
Here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
Friends of the man struck and killed by a hit-and-run driver in eastern Manatee County are hoping police find his killer. Paul McComb was hit early Sunday morning after his car broke down on State Road 64.
Plus, a sketch of a person of interest in the case of a missing 2-year-old boy from Pinellas County that triggered an Amber Alert over the weekend. Jordan Bellevue went missing Sunday morning. This is the man that police are interested in there right now. The mother that says the man's name went by Antoine.
And a busy day today for Sarasota City Commission. They'll talk about installing public restrooms in St. Armand's Circle. They'll talk about adding red bricks to the road on Lemon from Maine to Pineapple, and also talk about making their property tax increase to pay for all this official.
Coming up in the next hour, for those that hope Joe Biden would run a few years from now, you're getting your wish. Kind of. We'll explain. And Labor Day is usually a big business boom here on the Suncoast with all our beaches, but this year, why some businesses had to take the big L for loss.
One last check of the weather headlines from John Scalzi.
Yeah, we've got 3 of them for you again this morning. Gordon continues to move away from us, so its impact pretty negligible. We'll look for good rain chances this afternoon with the moisture it left behind, and we'll be watching the far tropics into next week for possibly another storm system that could have impact. We'll talk about that more in the next half hour.
All right, additional firefighters coming to Northport. They've received a couple federal grants there to help out in the West Villages, a growing area where the stadium's going in.
That's right. And we'll tell you why the Queen of Soul's family is upset with someone that spoke at her funeral. We'll explain the remarks and why they're upset this morning as well.
I guess if you have an 8-hour-long funeral, something's going to go wrong.
Something may go wrong. Yes, something did go wrong in a big way. We're going to tell you about it as well. We've got a full hour of news ahead for you. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast right here on ABC 7.